It's almost Christmas. There's no better gift this year for that fiend who has everything than horror comics. Here's what's new in horror comic books. Here's what's new in comic book horror this week, December 21st, 2022. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Let's check out this week in comic book horror, December 21st, 2022. Cover the Dead with Lime, number 3, is from Blood Moon Comics. The story is by Jonathan Chance, with art by Hernan Gonzalez. In this issue, a man finds himself in quite a pickle. A plague, and a swarm of unforgiving plague doctors outside, a horde of the undead inside.
Now that was what I call a sticky situation.
I've been digging this series from Blood Moon, plus it's got some creepy-ass covers. Curse of Cleaver County, number 1, is from Source Point Press. The story is by Garrett Gunn and Joshua Werner, with art by Keyla, Valerio, and Kit Wallis. Looks like this is another double feature book with 2 intersecting tales of terror. First, there's a hook-handed monster on the loose, and in the second story, look out for the Dyerville Devil. Sounds ominous, and I'm always game to check out some cryptid slasher fun. Lady Hell number 4 is from Dynamite Entertainment. The story is by Erik Burnham, with art by Zhengis Tasbolatov. Tasbolatov. Lady Hell finally makes it back to the underworld and has vengeance on her mind. She's lost her role in the universe and her seat on the throne of Hell, but will stop at nothing to get it back in this miniseries finale. I do so love the look of Lady Hell, where the curtain across her face shows a hint of her mouth, along with that costume which bears a notion of a nipple and a whisper of camel toe, depending on which cover you get. A Legacy of Violence, number 3, is from Mad Cave Studios. The story is by Cullen Bunn, with art by Andrea Mutti. Here's another book from the most prolific writer in comics, Cullen Bunn. This one focuses on a small town trying to figure out the modus operandi and identity of a killer before he makes his first kill. Andrea Mutti, who draws another amazing comic, Maniac of New York, seems to be the go-to artist for slashers these days. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Number 119 is from DC Comics. The story is by Derek Fridolfs, with art by Randy Elliott. When the gang heads to Daphne's horse riding competition, they find the track haunted by an evil centaur. Please, 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 let this be 2 old guys running around in a horse costume. I can't wait to see that mask reveal. Vampirella Strikes, number 8, is from Dynamite Entertainment. The story is by Tom Sniegoski, with art by Jonathan Lau. With villains like the Mad God of Chaos and the Blood Red Queen of Hearts causing all kinds of horror in the world where the natural has been overwhelmed by the supernatural, how will Vampirella keep her ass and titties covered in that skimpy red thong? See Vampy's costume defy gravity and physics in this new series by veteran Vampirella writer Tom Sniegoski. Ghost Planet number 1 is from Scout Comics. The story is by Jeffrey Burandt, with art by Sean Von Dorman. Here's a one and done about a family of space travelers who encounter a planet that won't let them leave. It's got body horror and all kinds of wicked ghostly stuff going on. I'm always in for a nice mix of sci-fi and horror, and this issue seems to have all the right ingredients. DC vs. Vampires All-Out War, number 6, is from DC Comics. The story is by Matthew Rosenberg, Alex Paknadel, and Mirka Andolfo, with art by Pasquale Qualano and Mirka Andolfo. This is the final issue of this brutal series pitting superheroes against vampires. That cover suggests a vampire, Superman, is about to put the hurt on Deathstroke, but that kryptonite sword looks like he's more than a match for the big blue Boy Scout.
Now that's what I call a sticky situation.
The Boogeyman number 4 is from Ablaze. The story is by Matteo Salvia, with art by Jet. It's just another story about a boy and his boogeyman and the boogeyman's pet wolf running away from a bunch of other boogeymen. This has been a visually vivid and exciting read. It's a real surprise as it combines some familiar ideas, but results in something imaginative and wholly original. I highly recommend you check this series out. The Department of Truth, Wild Fiction Special, #1, is from Image Comics. The story is by James Tynion IV, with art by Martin Simons. I haven't read a lot of The Department of Truth, but this issue is going to be a must-read for me as it reprints the Bigfoot two-parter from issues number 10 and 11 of this series. This might be the jumping-on point for those who haven't jumped on to this X-Files-like series yet, and it's a can't-miss for Squatch fans like me. The Stuff of Nightmares, #4, is from Boom Studios. The story is by R.L. Stine, with art by A.L. Kaplan. This is the final installment of the first arc, focusing on two brothers who work to overcome death. But with their former experiments at their door and more monsters being created inside, will they be able to see their experiments come to light? I've been really enjoying this series so far, and look forward to see what horror scribe R.L. Stine has in store for us for this finale. The Walking Dead Deluxe #53 is from Skybound Entertainment. The story is by Robert Kirkman, with art by Charlie Adlard. The group is wary to trust new faces after paying the ultimate price over the last few issues. But when they cross paths with a group led by Man Mountain Abe and the introverted genius muleteer Eugene, these weirdos may just be their only hope in this world overrun by the undead. See the premiere of two of the TV show's most popular characters in this reprint, this time in full bloody color. Werewolf X, The Society of Fearless Frontiersmen, #1, is from Bad Idea Comics. The story is by Robert Venditti and Peter Milligan, with art by Thomas Giarello and Robert Gill. Two of my favorite writers, Robert Venditti and Peter Milligan, are writing this wilderness horror book, but it's coming out from Bad Idea Comics, so I have no idea how to get this book. A lot of the stores I go to simply don't carry Bad Idea. This is a company that really makes it hard to check out their book, so if I can find it, I'll be all over it. I hope. I mean, they aren't even really giving a description of the plot out to sites like League of Comic Geeks, the website I get the info from to make this list every week. Way to make it hard to get your books, Bad Idea. Gunslinger Spawn, #15, is from Image Comics. The story is by Todd McFarlane, with art by Brett Booth. You know, all you have to do is add a top hat, and all of a sudden, you just look classy. Look at Gunslinger Spawn. He's all that in a bag of Funyuns. Plus, he's standing over a beastie that he seems to have messed up royally. Betcha he did that with a raised pinky and a lot of poise. Get in on the classy Spawn action in this issue written by Spawn's creator, Todd McFarlane. Alien #4 is from Marvel Comics. The story is by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with art by Julius Ota. It's been synthesoids versus humans in this series, but to the alien queen, they all look the same at the end of her spiky tail. This series continues to deliver high-fidelity horror sci-fi monthly. I'm missing Salvador LaRocca, but the new artist, Julius Ota, is doing a great job in his absence. Something is Killing the Children, #25, is from Boom Studios. The story is by James Tynion IV, with art by Werther Deladera. Those of you who aren't checking out this series should do so. It's a fantastically monstrous world Tynion has mapped out, full of creatures and hunters who take them down. This issue has monster hunter Erica taking on a beast called the Duplicitype, and I just love that name. Can't wait to read this issue, as I am finally all caught up with this popular and scary series. Well, that's it for this week's haul. I'll be picking up a bunch of these titles this week, including Something is Killing the Children, Alien, Stuff of Nightmares, Scooby-Doo, The Boogeyman, and maybe Werewolf X, if I can find it. I hope you can make your way through the holiday crowds to the comic store this week, and watch out for falling reindeer poop. Now, that's what I call a sticky situation.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your